Hi, I'm Pramod Haque, and I'm a venture capitalist here in Silicon Valley. And with me here is Gary Haugen. Gary is the founder and president of IJM, International Justice Mission. IJM is a remarkable organization. It is a global organization that is focused on fighting for the rights of victims that are being oppressed and that are being denied justice. These are by predominantly poor, helpless people that are living in countries where justice is being denied to them by rich and other people that have the ability to oppress them. I got introduced to Gary about 7-8 years ago through a fellow venture capitalist in Silicon Valley, and I got to know his organization, got to know him, and a few years ago I had the pleasure of actually visiting with some of his volunteers and his staff in a couple of metro areas in an emerging country. So as you look forward, what is the vision and some of the goals and plans for the next 5 years or so?
Well, the key thing right now, Pramod, is we're trying to be successful in a few demonstration projects around the world that show that it's possible to take a broken public justice system in the developing world that's not protecting the poor from violence and turning it into one that does. We've done this once in the Philippines now, and we're trying to replicate that in a few other places because people say, well, the justice systems in the developing world, they're corrupt, they're broken, they'll never work. And we want to challenge that and say, no, it's possible to actually protect the poor from violence. And so we have a few demonstration projects around the world that are now been targeted. And so the dream now is to be able to produce a series of these that will provide help and hope to the rest of the world that justice is actually possible for the poor.
That is great. That is great.
Over time, it's many times disappointing what the results are of aid and assistance in poor communities. And one of the main reasons is that you can give all kinds of goods and services away to the poor, but if you don't restrain the hands of violence in the community from stealing it all away, it doesn't do much good. So I would be with widows in Africa who had been given tools for agriculture and even education on how to do that, but then their land was stolen from them.
That's right, yes.
Or there'd be a microloan given to a man who had a tailoring shop, get a new sewing machine, but then the police were coming and stealing the profits from him.
So, here's my plea to the entrepreneurs, not just in Silicon Valley, but, in other parts of the U.S. and also in China and India and Israel and Europe and Latin America. Here's an opportunity for all of you to start thinking about what IJM is doing. There's opportunity for you to sort of participate or being able to get involved in making a big difference, a foundational difference, where you're laying the structure for a new and better justice system for these poor, so that as other organizations get involved, whether it's coming from the U.S. government, from the United Nations, or the World Economic Forum and all those that participate in that, as all these various organizations try to provide health care and educational and microloans kinds of programs, there is a sound foundational system in place so that all those programs can flourish. And at the end of the day, that these poor, oppressed people have access to a sound justice system. And that's what International Justice Mission, IJM, is all about, and that's what Gary and his organization stand for and dream about day in and day out. Thank you very much.
NBC News In Depth tonight, a rare glimpse into a world both horrible and heartbreaking. Here is some of what NBC's Chris Hansen has uncovered in a Dateline NBC investigation.
Poverty is no excuse for forcing children into prostitution, says Gary Haugen, who runs a U.S.-based human rights group, International Justice Mission.
The International Justice Mission.
The International Justice Mission.
International Justice Mission.
International Justice Mission.
The thing that keeps them there is violence, is terror. We will kill you, we will beat you. The actual leverage impact of rule of law is miraculous. All you need to do is establish a credible deterrent, and the people who once were slave masters decide they need to get out of that business.
What do the papers mean? Freedom.
Oh, you doing over here? Del 30 and 2 girls?
God knows what their future would have been. That's what we're all about. That's the impact that we are having by rescuing children out of those dark, evil places and seeing them mature and grow, be educated, be free.
ប៉ុន្តែយើងរស់នៅក្នុងសិទ្ធិសេរីភាពគ្រប់គ្រាន់ចឹងណាយើងមានសិទ្ធិសេរីភាពសិក្សាយើងមានសិទ្ធិធ្វើអ្វីៗទាំងអស់